Checking in with Mike Davis, an attorney and a Trump surrogate. He joins us. Mike, your thoughts of the first couple of days of this bizarre trial?
It's very clear that President Trump is not going to get a fair trial in New York City. You have this Soros-funded Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, bring in these bogus, trumped-up charges that are bookkeeping misdemeanors at best, and they're not even bookkeeping misdemeanors. From 2017, we're well beyond the statute of limitations. They're time barred. The prior Manhattan DA, the U.S. attorney, the Federal Election Commission, and Alvin Bragg himself declined to bring these bogus charges until Matthew Colangelo got deployed from the Biden Justice Department, a senior political appointee in the number 3 office of the Biden Justice Department, to resurrect this zombie case against President Trump. There before this Democrat Manhattan judge, Juan Merchan, who donated to President Biden's campaign in 2020 and donated to another anti-Trump cause. More importantly, his adult daughter, Lauren Merchan, is a leading Democrat campaign consultant and fundraiser who's worked for Biden and Kamala Harris and Adam Schiff and many other Democrats. He has raised $100 million off of this criminal prosecution, this unprecedented criminal prosecution over which her father, Judge Juan Merchan, is presiding. He clearly must recuse under New York statute. Even a former Clinton federal judge from New York went on Caitlin Collins' show on CNN on April 5th and pointed out this statute and said that Judge Juan Merchan needs to recuse. He's refused. And when Trump has raised this evidence of Matthew Colangelo, this political operative coming from the Biden Justice Department, and Trump has raised this evidence of Lauren Merchan, Judge Juan Merchan's adult daughter, raising $100 million off this case, this clear conflict of interest, this clear political corruption. What is Judge Juan Merchan's response? He imposes an illegal, unconstitutional gag order on President Trump, a criminal defendant. If there's anyone in America who must have the constitutional rights under the First, 6th, and 14th Amendments to speak out about the judge, the prosecutor, their staffs, the witnesses, their biases, the process, it is a criminal defendant going through a criminal trial. That is particularly true when that criminal defendant is a presidential candidate, and when that presidential candidate is the leading presidential candidate. You saw Matthew Colangelo giving the opening statement in this case. He's not some bit player in this thing. He's leading the charge.
Mike Davis, I'm curious, as an attorney, I'm not sure how much you've practiced in front of a jury, but I'd love to know what you think of these jury selections. Is this an impartial panel of his peers?
I have had jury trials, and I would say that this is absolutely a rigged process. First of all, you're in Manhattan, where the jury pool is 87% against President Trump in the last 2020 vote. So they voted for Biden 87%, right? And it's actually more than that against Trump because there are other candidates. So you have about a jury pool that's 90% against Trump. The only jury pool that's worse is D.C., right? And so you have this clearly biased judge and prosecutor and this jury pool. And this judge, this Democrat judge, Juan Merchan, whose adult daughter is raising money off this case, he rigged the jury selection process to harm President Trump. For example, he's asking potential jurors if they follow Trump on social media, but he's not asking these followers, potential jurors, if they follow Biden on social media. So you already have a jury pool that's 90% against Trump, and then you're going to try to weed out. You're going to allow the prosecutors to find the 3 people in Manhattan who support President Trump by saying that they follow him on social media, and then the prosecutor strikes them with their peremptory strikes. Well, Trump doesn't have enough peremptory strikes to get rid of all the Trump haters, right? So it's clearly going to be stacked with Trump haters. Let me give you an example. One of the jurors said they watched both MSNBC and Fox News. I can't think of any real human being on the planet that watches both MSNBC and Fox News. I mean, these people are gunning to get on this jury. They're going to find Trump guilty no matter what. He's going to be convicted. Judge Merchan, I think, will try to put Trump in jail. They know, look, all these Democrats, all these Biden Democrats know that these charges are bogus. They know this, right? They don't care. Their sole goal is to call President Trump a felon before November 5th, 2024, because they know that might be the only way to resurrect Joe Biden's dead political body. And they don't care. These Biden Democrats do not care if these criminal convictions will get reversed on appeal, which they will, but they don't care as long as they take out Trump before November 5th, 2024. This is the same play that Biden special counsel Jack Smith ran on former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell in 2016 when he was a likely presidential or vice presidential contender. Jack Smith got a criminal conviction of Governor McDonnell based upon a bogus corruption theory. He was convicted. The appellate court upheld the conviction. The Supreme Court of the United States reversed that conviction 8-0. It would have been 9-0. Justice Scalia passed away. It is very hard to have a criminal conviction reversed by the Supreme Court. It is nearly impossible for that to happen unanimously. Jack Smith found the way. But guess what? He did the job. He took out McDonnell for 2016. Jack Smith, Matthew Colangelo, Alvin Bragg, Fannie Willis, Tish James, these are all Scud missiles that Biden is sending in to take out Trump because Biden fears American voters on November 5th, 2024, because Trump is beating Biden like a drum.
So, Mike, what is the smart legal play? Do you go for a motion to dismiss at some point during the trial? Do you instead just go after the one juror you need for a hung jury? What's the smart legal play?
Trump has a very good legal team. He has a very good mix of solid trial attorneys and loyalists and really smart constitutional lawyers, including a former Supreme Court clerk. And so he has the right legal team. The problem is that the prosecutor, the judge, the witnesses, the jury pool, it's all stacked against him. These Democrats waited 30 months to bring these bogus charges. They waited. They tried to stack these trials back to back to back right in the middle of the presidential election in 2024. And they want these Democrats, prosecutors, and these Democrat judges, and these Democrat witnesses, and these Democrat juries, and these Democrat hellholes of New York, D.C., and Atlanta to decide this election instead of the American people. And I would say to Trump, he's already filed the motions to dismiss and the motions to recuse, and of course these judges have denied it. They've sought appellate relief, and of course the Democrat appellate judges have denied it. What's going to have to happen? You could get a hung jury. I wouldn't count on it. I think Trump's going to be found guilty and convicted in New York. And I would say this: how this gets resolved is the American people say on November 5th, 2024, you don't get to decide this, Biden Democrats. We, the American people, get to decide the election. So take your lawfare and shove it.
Let me give you a real legal question. A lot of people know that this is a sham trial. My question to you is, why is it that we don't have an appeal on any of these things, the gag order, some of the other rulings that have come down from the judge? Why is it we can't appeal this as we go? Are we waiting for the end of the trial to do the appeals, or what?
No, so Trump has appealed the gag order, the motion to dismiss. The appellate courts have denied it. It's just inexplicable because even a former Obama federal judge in the Southern District of New York went on CNN, Caitlin Collins' show on April 5th, and says Judge Juan Merchan has to recuse because he has his adult daughter has a financial stake in this criminal prosecution. She's raised $100 million. It's a clear